What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Kevin Kinkle with the Kevin Kinkle Podcast. We are back for another edition, the Week 4 NFL wrap-up. We had some tight games. After I hit y'all with the NFL wrap-up, we gonna take a look at the On the Come Up series. One of my favorite parts of the show that I'm doing, where we highlight scholar athletes, some in college, some in high school. And then after we do that, there's some miscellaneous things that's going on in the sports world, that's going on in the trending world that I would like to just keep you guys abreast on. And I think it's good conversation pieces for, like I said, I love to just talk and interact with the people, get their ideas, so we could all just talk about stuff and come together. But that's neither here nor there. Let's start with this NFL wrap-up Week 4. Then I got the power rankings. Then we're going to go in with the On the Cup segment. You heard? Kevin Kinkle Podcast, Uplift Yourself Podcast. Let's talk about it. We're doing a lot of things over here. So, first game was the Thursday night game. Miami Dolphins lost to Cincinnati. Cincinnati moved to 2-2. Miami moved to 3-1. This is the game where Tua got hurt. It was trending a little bit. I did a pod. It's on YouTube and it's on Spotify and the Anchor app about his injury and if he should have been playing. You could listen to that, and you could like, subscribe, comment, and leave your reviews in there for that too. But the first game of the week was Miami versus Cincinnati. Miami lost, so that was their first loss for the season. They moved to 3-1, and Cincy moved to 2-2. The next game was the Sunday morning game. This game went down to the wire. It was crazy. Minnesota versus the Saints. Long story short, the game was going down to the wire with 2 seconds left on the clock. The Saints are lined up within about a 56-yard kick, which would have sent the game into overtime had they had made it. So the kicker goes to kick the ball 56 yards. It looks like it's going to go in. Then it looks like it's going to miss. Then it looks like it's going in. Then it looks like it's going to miss. The ball clanks the left hand upright, falls down on that, and then it hits the crossbar. Looks like it's going in, and then it falls out. So Minnesota won. The Saints were really on their heels. They almost came back and got that victory. So Minnesota is now 3-1. The Saints are 1-3. That was a good game. Buffalo beat Baltimore. Allen proved to be better than Lamar Jackson at the time. Baltimore actually had a chance to tie the game up. They were at the 3-yard line. Instead of kicking a field goal to tie it up, Harbaugh decides that they're going to go for a touchdown to win the game, which was just a horrible call. They could have went into overtime and saw what they could have done there, but they went for the 4th down and 3 from the goal line to try to win the game, and that did not pan out for anything good. They ended up losing. Buffalo moved to 3-1 on the season. Baltimore is 2-2. The Giants remain at 3-1. They got a victory over the Chicago Bears at 3-1 for the season. The Giants are leading the league in rushing yards. I believe they're averaging 192 rushing yards a game, and most of that is attributed to Saquon Barkley. He is back and he is better than ever, playing like a beast. Chicago moved to 2-2 with that defeat. Atlanta moved to 2-2. They defeated Cleveland, who moved to 2-2. The Eagles are still undefeated at 4-0. The Eagles were getting smacked early in the game. They were losing 14-0 in the rain. Some people thought it was over. I'm an Eagles fan. I knew it was far from over, but I didn't believe the Eagles would get back so fast. I think they went to halftime. It was like 28-14 or something like that. They ended up winning a decisive win, but it looked bad in the beginning. Eagles still the only undefeated team in the league at 4-0. Jacksonville moved down to 2-2. The LA Chargers beat Houston. Chargers moved to 2-2. Houston moved to 3-1. The New Jersey Jets, they're 2-2. They beat Pittsburgh, who moved to 1-3. Seattle Seahawks moved to 2-2. They beat Detroit, who's 1-3. Geno Smith, I'm sorry, I disrespected you last week. Last week, as a fact, you threw for 325 yards and a touchdown. And this week, I believe you threw for another 325. I said that Week 1 game versus Russell Wilson was a fluke and you weren't coming back, but you're proving me wrong. Keep doing your thing, brother. I'm sorry. Sorry I hated on you like that. Tennessee Titans are 2-2. They beat the Indianapolis Colts, who are 1-2-1. Dallas Cowboys with no Dak Prescott. I told y'all they still have the personnel on the team to do what they have to do to make an argument of who's going to be the best team out the NFC East. And while we're talking about the NFC East, the Eagles are 4-0, the Giants are 3-1, Dallas is 3-1. They used to call the NFC East the NFC least because they were the worst. Right now, they are looking like the best division in the league. Arizona Cardinals are 2-2. They beat Carolina, who moved to 1-3. Las Vegas Raiders won. They beat Denver Broncos. Vegas moved to 1-3. Denver's 2-2, struggling with Russell Wilson at the helm. You would think they'd be doing better, but they're not. Green Bay moved to 3-1 with a victory over New England. Aaron Rodgers still holding it down for the Green Bay Packers. Kansas City had a close game over Tampa Bay. The young GOAT beat the old GOAT. It was Pat Mahomes over Tom Brady. He did a nice number for my little fantasy squad too, even though we still lost. And then the LA Rams, they lost to San Fran, and San Fran moves to 2-2. And Deebo Samuel for San Fran just balled up. He looking different out there. He was just making the LA Rams defense just look horrible. And the Rams are not the same team they were last year. And I don't even know how good they're going to do in the playoffs, let alone making it back to the Super Bowl. So that's the Week 4 football wrap up for the power rankings. I got the Eagles in number 1 holding it down at 4-0. I got the Kansas City Chiefs holding it down at the number 2 spot. I got the Bills right behind them at the number 3 spot. Then it gets a little shaky. I could have put a lot of teams here. I've seen some people put Dallas here. I put Green Bay here with Aaron Rodgers at the helm because of his experience. Then I put the Miami Dolphins because they're 3-1 and they just lost their first game on Thursday. And their main quarterback was hurt. One of the reasons why they lost. And there's a lot of 3-1 teams out there. Giants, Minnesota. So it's still a toss-up, and it's still the very beginning of the season. So as we move on, things are going to start weaving their way out. People are going to get hurt. People are going to start moving positively in the way that they should go. And we'll be able to straighten things out and see who deserves to be where. All right, so that's the Week 4 NFL wrap-up, and that's our power rankings. Next up, we're going to have the On the Come Up segment. Let's go.